Hey folks, I am Becky with Enduring Finances. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are taking a look at my budget breakdown for the month of January and what happened with that. As far as context, I am a 30-year-old female, single with no dependents except for my dog Jackson. I work a stable part-time job in the mornings, about 5 days a week right now, and then working on this and my photography business, very small business, and just some ways to earn some additional income. So that's where we're at. Let's jump into it. So we'll start off looking at personal expenses. We have my biggest expense, my mortgage. We pay $17 extra on top of what the base payment is for $1,250. We have my car insurance. I paid $50.14. My trash is taken out on the odd months, every other odd month, for $43.63 this time. Sewer I pay quarterly. Internet I have broken down as a split between my personal expenses and my business expenses because I use it about 85% of the time for business and about 15% of the time for personal use. And so we have that split broken down here as $9.60 for personal and then $50 for business expenses there. My water is bi-monthly even, so we didn't have to pay for that this month either. Electrical, we did a little bit better than what I was anticipating, coming in about $192, so about $32 less than what I was estimating, about $225, and that is because my heat, my air conditioning, my stove, everything in my house is electric. I don't have any gas set up, so everything's running off of that. As far as gasoline for my truck, we have it broken down in my spending breakdown. So we went ahead and spent $50, $45, and then $53 to fill up my tank 3 times. But we have business coming in, so I use my vehicle for business-related purposes, and I get to write off that gas amount because it is a business expense. And so I track that in a different spreadsheet, but we're bringing that in. We spent $83.20 on gas based off the mileage and the cost to refuel here, so we're going to add that back into my personal expenses here, bringing personal gas expenditure to $64.80 and business gas expenditure $83.20. As far as groceries go, we did just over $300 between the 4 different trips that I made. My biggest one was about $96, the lowest one was about $56, and this just varies based on what I'm getting and what lasts me, more than a week. But yeah. As far as eating out, it was a bigger month for eating out. I went to Red Lobster with one of my friends for her birthday, so this kind of fills into that. That was $62.30. And I went to Chili's with a different friend and we split, so I paid $16.46 for my share. And then I really, really, really wanted those wings from Domino's, and so I got wings and breadsticks from Domino's for $21.30, bringing my total eating out expenditure to $101.06. So a little bit more, a lot more than what we estimated for that. As far as health and maintenance, we spent $300 on counseling. We're continuing to do that. I put together what the military calls an I Love Me book for counseling stuff, so I had to have the binder and do the prints and do all the things and get that set up. And then I count shoes under health and maintenance because I have battled plantar fasciitis, so I buy shoes more often specifically because of that. And so I ended up buying new work shoes and new walking shoes for a total of $90.70, bringing that to $446. And then as far as birthdays, I spent $1.46 on a future birthday gift for someone. Trying to do really good deals here. And then as far as other, I did go and buy some bug spray for my house, outside, that kind of stuff from Lowe's for $26.42, and then had to renew Jackson's license, buy him some dog food, so that's coming in, right about $16.50 and $46.71, and then did a year membership with Amazon Prime. This is the first year that I've ever had it where I wasn't a student, and it is pretty expensive. I debated on keeping it. We're going to keep it this year just because we'll see what happens. Bringing my total other expenses to $236.97, bringing all of my total personal expenses to $2,657.42. So a little bit more than what I was estimating, with about $2,500 there. So not too bad, could be better, but it could be a lot worse. As far as business expenses, we have that $50 for the internet split. I didn't have anything for internet security, for just basic security for my computer and business stuff. For Enduring Finances, we again had that $5 fee for the podcast. I will be discontinuing this. I'm not in a place where I'm going to be able to move forward with that the way that I want to, and I'm not going to do it halfway. So we're going to cut that and just kind of archive it, and maybe in the future state in a different time, I will be able to continue that, because I love the idea. Great possibility with the idea, potential. Like, I just love it, but I don't have the capacity to do it with what is more important going on my plate. As far as Holy Smokes photography, we had $24.48 in Etsy fees. I spent $53.79 on Etsy marketing. And then I did have a couple of orders come in, and so I spent $119.19 printing and then shipping through that printing manufacturer those prints. And then I did end up spending $58.57 on what we're going to call travel and trips. And I went on a business trip, kind of networking, kind of just exploring that for the Banff Mountain Film Festival. It was a 3-night event here where they showed essentially just little mini films of people doing amazing things outdoors, and it was really cool to be able to go and see that. And so that is a business expense, because I met people there and learned things, and yep. And then of course that gas expense that we have just doing the additional income, bringing our total business expenses to $394.23. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the income kind of plays a part into that as well. As far as income goes, we do have that BA benefit for $508.05. For my part-time job, I ended up bringing in $1,054.84, so a little bit less there, just coming off of being sick at the end of the year into the beginning of the year, and just how that kind of worked out time-wise. We earned 9 cents off of website ads of Enduring Finances over here. As far as Enduring Finances, I sold one calendar for $15. I made $217.97 in print sales, bringing that total to $232.97. And you're right, that does not cover the expenses of it. We are operating in the black in that. And then as far as additional income, I made $320 off of donating plasma. Didn't do any DoorDash or Lime scooters. I made $912 off of Rover, and that's from walking the 3 or 4 dogs that I have. That's pretty standard. And then I did house sitting for about a week for a couple and their dog and 2 cats, and it was just a really good experience there. And then they gave me a really good tip, and it just rounded that number really nicely there. And then of course filtering in a little bit with the Uber Eats, with the travel back and forth between Rover walks, at $41.95, bringing my additional income to $1,273.95, bringing my total income between everything to $3,069.90. So a lot more than what I was estimating, specifically with that Rover house sitting thing that I did. So that brings the total expenses to $3,051.65 between personal and business, and then total income to $3,069.90, meaning we made a profit of $18.25 this month, which, you know, I'll take it. We're not in the red with that, so I'm happy to see that we're at least breaking even and moving forward with that. To look at it a little bit differently, just because business and personal, if we were to look at just my personal expenses and my income, we would be profitable of $412.48. If we were to look at just the business, we would be profitable a lot. So it just depends on how you look at it. And then of course I added in my investments so that you guys can see that as well. We brought in a total of $2,520, and we had $7.56 in fees, for a total gain in market value and dividends and all of that of $2,513. And that is broken down right here between the different accounts that I have. I have a 403B retirement account where I see about a 6.6 return on that. We made $1,874.69 on that, but we did have that $7.50 in fees. I do have a high yield savings account where I made $1.28 off of that. Lending Club is that peer-to-peer lending account that I am dwindling down. We made $5.15 in principal off of me loaning other people money, and then $1.04 off of interest from that, bringing with a 6-cent fee, bringing that to $6.13. And this is for less than $100 that is still invested in this. So this is a pretty decent return of $100. And then my stock portfolio as well, I made $120.49 off dividends. Next week I'll do a video that breaks down all of those individual dividends if you would like to take a look at that. We didn't do any stock trades and we didn't have any fees associated with that. And then for my thrift savings plan, we see about a 6.3% return, and this is similar to a 401k or 403b. It's just through the military and the federal government, and I can no longer invest in this because I'm not in the military nor work for the federal government. So we saw a return of $518.32 this month with that, and no fees. So we had a pretty decent month as far as market return, coming off of a hard year last year. So I'm happy to see any improvement with that, and I'm happy to break $100 in dividends every month. So that wraps up the budget of it. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick at my net worth breakdown. So I have the market value estimate of my house at $367,000, and that is going to be a big proponent of how high my net worth is. We have about $450 cash on hand still, about $1,000 in the checking account, about $50 in my savings account. We have about $2,000 in my emergency fund. The Lending Club is dwindled down to just under $94. My stock portfolio is now valued at $30,443. The 403B account is now valued at $28,535. My TSP is now valued at $13,739. I have about $6,200 in vehicles, $600 in furniture, about $1,300 in my gym, and about $7,500 in other mentionables, bringing my total assets to about $459,712. And then the only liability that I have is my mortgage on my house, and we still owe $190,316. Everything else is zilch. I don't have any credit card debt or student loans or anything like that. So between all of those assets and my one liability, we are looking at a positive net worth of $269,395, and we saw an increase of about 1.64% from last month to start the year. So very happy to move closer to that $275,000 mark. We just barely hit the $250,000 mark, the $250,000 mark with my last market evaluation on my home. So we are slowly making improvements with that, and that will continue to grow and grow as my house, as I pay down on my mortgage, and as the market value increases on my investments. And yeah, so we're doing all right with that. Happy to see those increases come in and those dividends, and the income is as stable as it can be for somebody who's juggling multiple different revenue streams. And yeah, so that is going to wrap things up for me. I do plan on doing a video. I was going to do it already, but I was waiting for taxes to come through, that breaks down all of the additional income that I'm making, and kind of breaks it down into like how much I'm making per hour, and just a more clear, concise picture of how that looks and what I'm doing and what's working well. So look for that in the near future once I get all my tax information and everything, that I can kind of plug that into it as well. So that's going to wrap it up for me today, guys, and I'll see you next time.